Okay, thank you for joining us on another episode of A Journey of Love. I'm James.
I'm Nisha.
Okay, and today we're going to talk about communication through conflict. All right, Nish, let's get that started, baby.
It's about to get real serious, guys.
Yes,
So,
indeed.
where do we start? I think the way I approach things, is that everyone is in a space when it comes to James and I that foundationally is respect, right? Um, when it comes to issues, when it comes to situations that we're at an impasse, the conversation must take place, right? We are very intentional about communicating through conflict because conflict will arise in, all types of young love, old love. It doesn't matter, new love, reconnected love, with my reconnected love.
That's it.
But one thing that has always been important to the both of us is to make sure that we both understand that communication is the foundation to and through every situation. Um, And I think just the respect that we have for each other, the love that we have for each other allows us to continue to come together and basically um, be in a space where we want to have a resolution. Sometimes the resolution is no resolution, but understanding is what the goal is all the time. And so I think that's pretty much the first basis in, getting to a place of communication and solving conflict through communication.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. We definitely put a lot of emphasis on communication and never letting anything be too big or linger on without just bringing it to the table. Um, you know, we've had, areas where we had misunderstandings or we didn't exactly agree. But the good thing about us is that we always, are able to talk things out. Like there's never anger involved. It's always, all right, let's talk about this. Let's get an understanding and let's move forward. Um, he's just one of the most, you know, thoughtful and understanding people I've ever met. So when there are times where, my communication may not be as clear, um, she's so open and understanding that I have the opportunity to clarify things and offer up my perspective on um things that I tried to say before, but I get that second chance to clarify. And it allows us to get through the quote unquote conflict um, that we were having. But it's when you have a partner that's really in tune with you and really cares about you, communicating really helps and you can get through anything. I feel that we can get through anything together.
And we will, because one, we understand, I think that we both understand that conflicts will arise. We both come from different places. We were raised with different families. We had different journeys, our lives just look different. Um, and our perspectives are different. But at the end of the day, we respect those not as different opinions, but as new perspectives to broaden our horizons. So when we look at situations that may come and, I, for instance, would see something differently, and he would just say, well, we could look at it this way. And I would just say, oh, I've never looked at it that way before. And because of that, sometimes my process of thinking, understanding may be limited just because I haven't had experience with that thing before. So by having a conversation, it doesn't just open myself up to understanding him better, but it just gives me a bigger perspective on different things. Um, I think one of the reasons that James and I work so well together is that, like we said earlier, nothing's off the table, right? And we don't sleep on conflict because tomorrow's not promised to anyone. And I know they, everybody's heard the cliche, you shouldn't go to bed angry and things of that sort. And it's true because we both have dealt with situations in our lives where it made us or forced us to understand just how precious life was, whether it was a situation I was dealing with, a death in a family, things like that, something that was close to us. We understand that life is not promised. And this thing that we're confronting, we are confronting this thing, but we're not confronting each other, right? So we both come together and say, how do we best attack this thing? So it's always us, our perspective, the guidance of Christ, and that's how we approach the problem. So it's constant communication. Um, Something that I had to learn to grow through in this relationship is that shutting down is not an option. And the reason that it's not an option is because one, it abandons your spouse completely. It doesn't give them an opportunity to assist you through the problem, through the conflict, through the issue. And it also abandons them emotionally from being in a space that they call home. No one likes the feeling of being locked out their house. And when you tend to shut down, that's what it does to your spouse. It locks them out of their safe space. So that was one of the things that I had to learn very quickly because I tend to not be the argumentative type. So I'm just like, oh, that's how you feel? Okay, you got it. And that's it. But, we've set that standard that we will talk to each other about anything, no matter what it is. And it's allowed us to get to a space of understanding and respect at the forefront and then attack the issue together. So James is very, very good at reassuring us, like, you don't have to deal with this alone. I don't need you to fix it by yourself. Just remember, you always have me here by your side, in front of you, behind you, holding you down and making sure you're good. So in that sense, you're able to kind of open yourself up to having the conversation that at times may be difficult, but you still know, if you know at the end of the day that person is still there for you, there's no reason not to have the conversation because nothing's going to stop and you've already established respect and love. So having conversations with my boo is very easy. He's very easy to talk to. So that also makes it really, really easy. So you
Yeah,
think I'm easy to talk to?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That
Crazy.
was not convincing at all.
No, 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 no. I was saying, yeah, because I just wanted to make sure you were done speaking before I interjected. But yeah, no, you're very easy to talk to, and you're very respected. I mean, receptive to things I may say. Just like what you was mentioning before, we have different perspectives. So when we do have to, you know, hit the crossroads or whatever, and I'm just using these words because in the bigger picture of things, there may be people that's watching that have really hit crossroads or really had conflicts. I think what we had were just differences of opinions and different perspectives and misunderstandings. So when we have those, because we're both so easy to talk to and we already agree that nothing's off the table, it makes getting through anything easy because we both have the goal of getting through it, growing through it, and continuing to grow together. Like there's no uh going to bed angry. We don't do that. There's no um just letting things linger or anything like that. We won't allow that to happen. We talk about it, get through it, move on. And even when it was situations where, you know, it may have been easier just to shut down for the moment, um, we both were like, no, we're not, that's not what's gonna happen. What we're gonna do, we're gonna be supportive, um, reassure, and just work through it because why put up obstacles when there's no need to have put up an obstacle, especially with each other. Like we're both. I feel like we're each other's home, so we're in this home together.
For sure.
Why are we going to build a wall that separates us in our home? So I love that the way we communicate, the way we reassure each other, the way we respect each other is like really, really solid and the key to the way that we love each other. And I believe that that's always going to be beneficial to us and to our future because we always know and we're always reassured that there's nothing too big that we can't handle.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. Can we just take a sexy minute? Because he's starting. It makes it very comforting, as a woman to know that you have a man by your side that's willing to allow you to break without feeling broken, right? That's something that I've told James many a times is that that to me conveys my ability to be vulnerable without being scared, right? So no matter what the outcome might be, at the end of the day, I know he loves me and I know I love him. So if that's the outcome, we've already gotten to the goal, we've already got to go. Whatever is in between is what we communicate, through one another, conversations, things like that. But um, even when I feel like I'm not in a space emotionally to have that conversation, I'm constantly reassuring, like, I'm letting you know that right now I'm not in an emotional space to have this conversation, but I want to let you know that I want to have it and I want to have it today. So it's not something that's going to go into tomorrow. It's not something that's going to take a lot of time. Um, but in this moment, I'm too like, whether I'm, scared, whether I'm frightened, whether I'm just a little anxious or, any things of that sort, I'm just like not in a space where I can put myself forward to understand in this moment. But I do want you to know that I hear you, I love you, and I thank you for, being patient with me. And I'm going to reconnect because at the end of the day, you must reconnect after any kind of argument, whether it's just, holding hands, sitting there in silence, or, just sitting there and having time to pray and say, God, thank you for getting us through this thing, right? Because weapons will form, but they shall never prosper, and when you have two people that are as comforting as he and I are together, I don't think it's ever a situation that's too big for us to just have a conversation. And like I said, sometimes the conversations are, I don't get it. And how you're explaining it to me, I still don't understand it. But I want you to know I do want to understand it. So no matter how long that takes, even if I don't agree, I want to leave understanding your perspective. And to me, that is already a win in the conversation because we left, he knows how I feel, he understands how I feel, I know how he feels, I understand how he feels. So that is a big place where, we both strive to continue to be, because like I said, conflicts are going to come. Life is life. We have children, we have different lives that we're blending and things of that sort. So it makes it very important for us to get to a place where we have a foundation because the house that we're beginning to build together cannot be built on sand. Built on Christ, cement, bricks all around. And when he says that we are each other's home, just like you said, there is no building walls between us in our own home because it feels cold and it feels like it's just off. It's really just off. And if it's something that, in that moment that we have not gotten through, we'll give it some time. We won't press the issue because obviously we're at an impasse here. But we'll always come back like, babe, this is not, I didn't leave feeling like I understood. So let's, kind of revisit it and put it to bed because we're not going to resent each other. We're not going to love each other less. We're not going to respect each other less. But there is a space that we both have to live and, understand one another. And coming through conflict, through conversation, through communication is one of those ways to do that is just making sure you understand, then I understand. It's not about you being right, me being wrong, or vice versa. It's about getting a better perspective of your situation and my situation, understanding each other through it.
Yeah, definitely. And something else that's important is and I'm sure other couples that are watching can relate. Um, we we have both been through previous relationships or situations, however you want to frame it, where communication wasn't there. You had to like walk on eggshells or it just wasn't present at all. So when there was any kind of disagreements or, conflicts, it kind of just festered
Hmm.
because how can you talk to someone that doesn't really, you know, respects you or doesn't really want to put that effort in. Where like what we have is we both put 100% effort in every day. So it's 100, 100. Some people, it's you might put 100 in and they may barely put 20%. Like, and I'm being generous because sometimes it's way closer to zero. But I think the fact that we both been through past situations like that, and then we've done the work to, heal from that, and we don't have that baggage, but we know what we always wanted, what the end goal was, as far as, finding true love and not bringing that baggage forward. So we brought the lessons forward that we learned from it, but not the baggage. And I think that's very important. And I think that that will definitely help us as we move into this next chapter that we're moving into. So
What do
babe,
you mean? Whatever do you mean? I don't know.
yeah.
So now my fiance James.
Yeah, so yeah, that's the big reveal. So
Oh my
yeah, we're
God. Oh my God.
we're definitely engaged. And it's definitely a journey of love. It isn't a race, it's a journey, and we cherish every moment of every day. And the the main point of this episode is that communication is key through everything.
Always. If I would like to close with something, first and foremost, I love you, my
I love you
sweetheart.
too. I love you too,
A shocking drop.
baby.
Um, but I know there are a lot of, young couples that are going through a lot of things and they think that, they have to walk on eggshells or they have to shut down. You have to be willing to open yourself up to vulnerability. And it's a scary time, it's a scary place. But if you yourself knows that the person that you're with loves you and is going to love you and is going to respect you through it and is going to keep you safe through it, drop the walls. Drop the walls. Like sometimes they got some old knees. They can't climb like that. They can't climb those walls like that. So just open the door. Like you don't have to make the entire change in one day, but open the door and allow that person in because you don't know by simply allowing that person in. Remember, you yourself can be healing something in them that they never knew was there. So allow them in. So have the conversation. No matter how, difficult you think it may be, have the conversation. Pray together. If you think, ask God to, comfort your tongue, to heal your spirit, to heal your heart. Ask God to give you the right words to say. Um, and ask him to allow that person in. Because the best gift you can give somebody is the treasure of your love.
Definitely. The
On that
treasure of your
note,
love
on
is
that note,
is very important. And like my baby said, on that note, we're gonna close out this episode. Thank you for joining us on
all right.
another episode of A Journey of Love.
I'm Niche,
I'm James.
and we out of here.